What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back. Today we are going to look at the dash cover that I purchased for the pace car project from the Fiero store. This is the complete cover that goes over your existing dash. I got this for this car because you can see here corners are completely gone. And there's some cracking. So I figured the best way to fix that would be this dash cover. Plastic, it's flexible. This is how it came. So let's get this out of the bag and we'll take a look at it, and then I'll see if I can slide it on the dash as it is right now. Basically what I'm going to do is paint this to match that dash, and then this will glue on over it. It's really hard to find a non-cracked Fiero dash. At least it's hard for me to find one. So yeah, let's get this out of the bag and get a closer look. Let's get this thing out of here. So as you can see, it's pretty thin, pretty flexible. But it looks exactly like a Fiero dash. Just give you a closer look of it. Maybe. So, see? It's got the same texture as the Fiero dash. It's not very thick. It's pretty thin, pretty flexible, which will probably be good for installing it. It's the passenger side of the dash. That's where the center bezel is, and this is the driver's side. I don't know if I need to have the instrument cluster out of here in order to fit it in or not. Trying to do this one-handed is not going to be easy. So I got the interior half out of this thing as it is here. Let's see what we got here. I might have to have the gauge cluster removed to get it in here. Let's see, it fits completely. So I don't want to break it. Yeah, I don't want to break it. Alright, fine. I'll remove the gauge cluster. Be that way. I'll do it. All got to come out of here anyway. Alright, so you got to remove the gauge cluster at least to put this on. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this so we can just slide this over the dash and I can show you what it looks like, because that was kind of the point of this video. So let's do that. Alright, so the gauge cluster's out. So, this thing in here. Clearly, I don't have everything off the dash. To be honest, I might fit this thing on the dash with the dash outside of the car, because you got to remove, you know, all the vents, speaker grills, the dash pocket here, center console piece. The hood release is still on that side, but just from setting this in here with the dash still in the car, I mean, all the holes line up how they're supposed to. Everything on it, I mean, looks like it'll fit really well. But, I mean, I'm pulling the whole interior out of this car anyway. So, the interior of this dash will be out. When the dash is out, I want to remove this vent because it needs to be painted. And when I'm doing all that, I will glue this thing to the dash, and then we will paint it to match. Oh yeah, when I get to the interior part of the pace car restoration, we'll go over installing it and painting it and all that. And realized I had a dash up in storage, so I grabbed that. And the sad thing about this dash is corners are great. You go up here to the top, there's a crack right there. We go over to this side, there's a little hole right there, some cracking right there. This corner's a little marred up, but you know, the corners that always break are good, so yay. But this will probably be the dash that I use in this car. So let's go ahead and take this thing here and set it on. Granted, we're not gluing it in place or anything like that. We're just setting it on here. It's not hitting on the car anywhere. Everything's out except these little vents I didn't pull out. I mean, it seems to line up with the contour of the dash pretty good. A little bit of a funky cut right there on it. I also had the vents and things here. This is hard to do one-handed. So those snap on there. So this has to be glued in place, and you know, maybe if it's glued in place and painted, it won't look quite as funky, but here you can see the edge. This vent's in place where it's supposed to be. You can see this kind of overhang there is a little more. If I push it all the way, it bows the top of the dash, and then this vent doesn't completely line up. The cut's kind of crude around that too. But the vent fits in and out. Fits pretty good around the mat pocket. Fits pretty good on the instrument cluster side. Fits alright on this side. It's a little bowed right there. Again, with this here, you know, if I push it all the way back to where it touches in the front, it bows the top, and it's not, the vent's not centered. If I let it sit where it wants to sit, the vent's centered. Again, let's try this side and see. Go. That snapped in okay. You can't really get to that bottom bolt too well. So those might have to be in before I glue this down, because this seems to be sitting all right here. Of course, it's cold in here too, and this dash has been sitting out of a car a while. Maybe it's a little bit warped, I don't know. And as far as the top goes, looks all right around the top vent. Will sit a little better if it's glued in place. And let's try to put a speaker grill in here and see what that's like. Okay, again, speaker grill hole. It's not going to fit. So I don't know if you're supposed to have your speaker grills in there when you fit this, but you can't if you take the dash out. So, because you know the bolts hold the dash on or in here. So I don't know if you're supposed to fit this with the dash in the car. I don't think it came with any directions. If it did, they're long lost. So, guess that would be my only critiques. I don't know if I can, you know, kind of trim this here a little bit. Because it's just right around the edges here where the speaker grill would sit. That it's just not quite the right size, so this won't snap down in there. But otherwise, it fits the dash pretty well. I think it would look good. Oh, I hope I don't scratch this terrible paint. But yeah, I'll give you an idea of how it looks on there. Is it perfect? No. Does it look better than a cracked up dash? Yes. Yeah, we're gonna glue it to this dash here eventually. It's too cold today. It's like 30 degrees in the shop here. Somebody needs heat. But there, it gives you an idea of how it fits on the dash. If you were to glue this on, say you did this in the car and you were to glue this on in the car with the speaker grills in place and all that, you wouldn't be able to get your speakers out of it if you ever wanted to change them. And you wouldn't be able to get the dash out of it because you can't get the speaker grill covers off. So that's got to be addressed if you're going to put it in. I mean, otherwise, you know, this side here we can get to both bolts on this vent. This side here, this bottom one, you can see is mostly covered. You can kind of push this over though. Like I said, it might just be how this is sitting right now. It's a little bit cold. I have to warm it up before I paint it. So that'll do it for this video. Gives everybody an idea of what the dash cover, complete dash cover from the Fiero store looks like and fits like. For the price, it's not bad, but it is going to require some work to make it fit perfectly. So if you like this video, give it a like, leave a comment. If you have any advice on what I should do with this, feel free. Throw it in a fire, whatever you think's necessary. And then if you want to see more, or you want to follow along with the pace car rebuild or any of the other stuff that we're going to be doing, then subscribe to the channel. But hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.